Going. We're live.
What's up, you guys? Coy took a trip through the desert. I took a trip through Pat's Acres Racing Complex, and we are drinking Sinister barrel-aged rum made right here in Albany, Oregon. This and more on Boost, Booze, and Barbecue.
You know why we're here. It's time for Boost, Booze, and Barbecue.
Hello and welcome to Boost, Booze, and Barbecue. This is Rod Stiffman, my co-host, Dixie Normus, joining us. Producer Nikki Six in the back. What is happening, boys?
You have so much, way too much energy. Like,
Am I starting the wrong show?
yeah.
Oh, my bad.
You got too many shows going at once. Starting to break down. I've seen a lot of shows. This is how every unsub starts.
Got it. I apologize, you guys. You are watching Boost, Booze, and Barbecue, or listening. All of our friends out there listening to the podcast, we want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank you for telling a friend, by the way. We really thrive on you guys letting everybody know that we're doing good stuff over here. So thank you for that. Coy, good to see you, my friend.
Yeah.
You like the new hardware?
I like the new mic. You were got like some Iron Patriot thing going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Merca.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
good.
I'm happy with it. And I think people like the way it sounds. I've had a couple of people write me and say my penis can only get so erect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that it's sounding pretty good.
I like already just watching you use this mic. It's very unidirectional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have to get you set up with something.
Yeah.
I'll do something.
Yeah, I'm over here rotating around the mic, and you're just looking wherever you want, talking.
We'll get you sorted out, buddy.
I got my head on like a DJI gimbal.
Well, it's the price you pay for taking second chair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough.
Hey, let's go ahead and start us off with this booze. This is something that Corianne picked up for me.
I don't want any of that, though.
Oh, no?
No. Have you ever heard of Whistle Pig?
Yes.
I hear it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, since it was your birthday, I thought I'd just get you a bottle.
Are you serious?
Let's start with this.
Wow. Whoa. Look at that, you guys. Farm stock rye, son. Whistle Pig. You ever had rye whiskey before?
Yes, I haven't had Whistle Pig, though.
Well, let's see what we think about
Have you had this before?
I'm not sure. Thank you, by the way. You're a gentleman and a scholar. That's why I'm going to pour you some first. I'm going to pour you a dram. Do you know what a dram is, Coy?
No, I do not.
So we talked about this with the second in command, basically, at the Ardbeg distillery, the Scotch distillery, Ardbeg.
Mm-hmm.
A dram is a unit that you feel comfortable with pouring, but your guest is also feeling humbled by because they feel you're being generous.
That is a wildly specific term. I'd just say 3 glugs. Like,
no, but it has to be, a dram has to be acceptable for both parties. Yeah. So like the person you're pouring it for needs to be like, oh, that's enough for me. But you also need to be able to say, I'm not pouring so much that this jerk off is not going to appreciate it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
well,
cheers, my friend.
Thanks for the dram.
You're welcome.
It's definitely rye whiskey.
Mm-hmm. That's good, though. It's like rye candy.
Mm-hmm. Heat comes on pretty late there, though. Kind of like that.
It's only 43% alcohol, so not too bad.
And I found this interesting. I said, give me the, what's this, farmhouse? Mm-hmm. The farmhouse farm stock rye. And the lady grabbed the bottle and moved it, and the one behind it said farm stock rye, but the label is different. And I said, why is that one different? She grabbed them, like, I kind of looked at them, just think they had different labels. There actually was different. There were different years. And the recipe on the back, like this one here, It's 32% 5-year age, 45%, or 32% 2-year age, 45% 5-year age, and 23% 10-year aged, and that's a Vermont, an Indian, and a Canadian. And then they have the batch numbers, the wood, VT oak. I'm not sure whether it be VT Vermont. It's VT.
Yeah, Vermont VT.
Vermont oak, and then a char and a char. Yeah, so that was the recipe. The other one, also farm stock rye. If you look on the front, this is the rye crop number 2. The other label is different because it was rye crop number 3, and the recipe was different.
No kidding.
Even if you had tried one of these, the chances they change it. So there's different recipes.
That is crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you don't like this one, you can come back to it in a year or two, and maybe it'll be a little different.
Okay, you know what? I think that I got to take a little bit of credit for this, but this show and your friendship with Whiskey Hunter Nick, that has changed you, my friend. I would never, ever in a million years have heard you talk about the recipe on the back, how they blended this thing. I'm very impressed.
Well, cheers to that. To be fair, though,
that was not supposed to be a backhanded compliment. If it sounded that way, I apologize.
To be fair, though, I wanted to make sure that I was getting the better of the two. So I had to do some, I had to put on my detective hat to figure out why there were different labels. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, that is seriously impressive. Thank you, my friend.
Well, hopefully you enjoy. I know your wife likes rye more than you.
But if it's a good rye, I'm fine with it.
Well, now you can share,
This is a very good rye. That is for sure. This is super good.
Yeah, there's the reason it's Whistle Pig.
And you know what? I'm glad that you didn't bring it, on the birthday weekend, because we had so much stuff going on, bro. So much stuff. Nick, do you have any of those photos pulled up from Pat's Acres? He's going to go ahead and get those queued up. We went to Pat's Acres to check out the Summer Jam. Mm-hmm. I was only there for a couple hours. We didn't have a lot of time. I was just kind of trying to squeeze it in.
Are they doing a social distancing thing there, or they just said, suck it, Crate Brown, and just did it anyways?
No. People are social distancing for sure because they're in their cars.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the spectators are just wherever they want to be?
Well, the spectators, it was strongly recommended at the front door.
It's America. You can't force them not to, I guess.
Well, but they strongly recommended that they social distance.
Okay.
And so, I saw some people taking heed, so I think it was fine.
Good.
Plus, it's an outdoor venue, so you can't.
I was just really hoping that they were just like, screw you, Governor. We do what we want. We're drifters. We do burnouts and stuff. We're from the streets.
There is a little bit of that, but at the same time, I think they're on the up and up. Is up and up can be.
Okay, well, that's good, I guess. But I was hoping that they were outlawing it.
No, I know you're one of those boog boys.
Boog boy, yeah.
You sound exactly like my buddy Ryan Harris, where he's just like, nope, do what I want.
Why? Because I want to. Yeah.
He had a face mask where he was like, okay, I'd wear this face mask, and of course it was highly offensive, so no one would want him to wear that face mask.
They'd ask him to take it off.
Yeah.
I've just gone to saying, and I didn't come up with this, I saw it on a Facebook post, but anybody ever says anything about my mask, I just say it's a felony to wear a mask while you're carrying a gun. And they go, and I just keep walking.
And bingo.
Done.
ABCD, baby. That's how it works.
Yeah, no, I recommend you do it. Not to a cop or anything like that, but it is quite enjoyable to do. Mm-hmm. Like a Walmart.
Sure.
Yeah.
Speaking
in
of
Oregon, I wouldn't do it in one in other states right now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't do it in Seattle.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I noticed you brought some of your pistoles, which is awesome. I've been looking at pistols too. I have not really been looking at concealability though. I want something to be able to take on the trails. Have just a plinking toy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
just an easy handling freedom dispenser.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Easy handling. Mm-hmm. I did not end up with something easy handling. I decided on a whim to purchase a gun that was on a deep discount and then found out why it was on a deep discount. Got myself a Sky Industries, or an SCCY CPX1. That's the one you don't want.
Okay.
Yeah. Shoots great. Shoots real straight. Kicks like a mule. It kicks so hard. As a matter of fact, the other day we were working in studio, and producer Nick was having a hard day, and I said, "Hey, let's go pop some rounds off." No homo. And he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we went down to the gun range, and I had him fire that gun. What'd you get in, producer Nick? You got in like, you did pretty good. 20 shots, you think? And after that 20th shot, he just hands me the gun back, and he's like, "You know what? I don't enjoy shooting this thing."
Not having fun anymore.
You can't keep it on. You can't keep it on target, and it just, I don't know. It's got, the slide has so much mass, but the grip has no weight, and it's just, I don't know. As a matter of fact, we're probably going to go down to the range after this episode, so you're probably going to be able to shoot it and feel it, but you'll see what we're talking about.
Well, the nice thing about a deeply discounted gun, even if it does shoot bad, you don't care. So just, oh no, I dropped it in the mud. You just rub it on your jeans. Like,
That's true.
Everybody needs a truck gun that just gets beat up.
To be fair, it has not jammed yet, and it shoots pretty straight. It shoots pretty straight, all things considered.
That's all you need.
I think I'll keep it around, just because if I have a buddy that's coming over and he doesn't have something to shoot, we'll let him pick that thing up,
Yeah, it's the crappy go-kart.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the one that teaches you to bring your own stuff.
It's the Nintendo controller that's a little sticky, like B button's not 100%. You're just like, yeah, this is my controller, but since you're here, you can use this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
That's a really good analogy. Wow.
Don't push hard on the left on that joystick. It'll just kind of, give it a shake if anything happens. Yeah. Thump it on your knee.
Yeah, exactly.
One of those.
The brake button actually sticks down.
Yeah. Yeah. I was second chair in every video game till I was old enough to buy my own. I didn't have them as a child. So I've used a lot of controllers that should have been retired completely. And it's just like, no, X doesn't work at all. So
what some might consider subpar.
Yeah, some might say a disadvantage.
And you know what your brothers would say? Hey, at least I plugged it in for you. Yeah. Actually, that might be what I said to you. I'm not sure. Did I ever do that to you? Did I ever give you the crappy controller?
I don't think so. A lot of the games we played, we passed the controller. So if there was a crappy controller, we both, it was equal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Equal opportunity crappiness.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know why nowadays everybody plays online and they don't get to experience the part where you played a game till you died and then you handed the controller to your buddy and then he played till he died. And, you're hoping they die as soon as possible so your turn comes up.
Yeah.
So you're subtly talking crap. And sometimes you get into it and you're, hey, well, watch on the right. There's this, or, hey, there's a car going to pass you, depending on what game you're playing. It could be racing or shooting or whatever. And other times you just start easy conversations, try to distract them a little bit. You're like, oh. Yeah. That was a crazy car we saw yesterday, huh? Yeah. Oh, watch out for that. Oh. Yeah, he got you. You didn't see that guy? Oh, all right. Well, anyways, give me the controller.
Yeah.
It's my turn now. Yeah.
Oh, wow, you got a hummingbird outside. Oh, man, you died. That is a damn shame.
You guys have any Dr. Pepper here? I'm so thirsty. Are you thirsty? You look thirsty. Should I get you something? Oh, no, I'll take that controller. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What we didn't do that with ever was Time Crisis 3.
I wish that is the best game I ever,
Yeah. It has the best memories for me.
The close second for me was Army of Two. I didn't actually play that with you a ton, but I lived with a guy, Chris. And that game was one of those games where it was the most bonding, and we almost got in a fist fight also. Because, it was a two-man thing. You had to have two guys, and then you'd go down and he'd have to come heal you. And so but if you only had a minute for him to heal you, and then he was on his own, and you'd just be screaming, "Come on, man! You've killed enough guys. Now double back, get me. You'll be fine." It's like, no, there's one more guy here. And then, come help me now.
Yeah.
I'm dying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me your controller. I'll heal me. Yeah. Stuff like that.
Oh man, that is hilarious. I wish we could be doing that a little bit more with full-sized vehicles, quite frankly, because I wouldn't mind swapping back and forth. You know, get a rig and just be like, hey, we're going to share it. Not the maintenance part.
Yeah.
That's the part that I don't want to share. That's an outside corporation handles the maintenance portion of the car. But what if you could have a loaner car that you could just take and beat on or learn how to drift in, right?
That would be exciting.
Mm-hmm. I kind of have that now. Kind of, sort of. So Ryan Lackner over at Clutch Geek Radio got me a set of Corsa for the computer. And as you know, I have a wheel set up, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some dudes out there that made a Pat's Acres map for a set of Corsa.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I have been cranking out the memories driving on Pat's Acres in a video game.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. It's something that I learned about at the Summer Jam days. Do we have those pulled up, Nick? Yeah, we do. And I have to admit, I've been pretty impressed so far with that game. I have not bought it. I don't know. You know, what am I going to waste my money on? Believe it or not, these are pictures that producer Nick took. He's really taken to that new camera.
Yeah, that new camera is nice.
This is just kind of...
Wait, is that a Drift Ultima?
I think that's a G35. And I apologize for people listening at home. We will have these photos up for you to see.
I love that 280Z. Mm-hmm. It might be a 240Z, but...
Whatever it is, it's a Z car, yeah. Noticing that a lot of these cars... Do you remember when we first started watching the drift thing and hanging out with our drift friends?
Of course.
And it was basically just like stock 240s. Mm-hmm. They would blow up KA motors a couple times a year.
Yeah.
Go and get them.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm going to turbo KA. And then I'd be like, oh, what? It blew up on the dyno.
I think 400 horsepower cars outnumbered like just stock cars. I don't know, 4-1. I mean, it was crazy. I didn't realize that the level had gone so much higher in local drifting now. I mean, Pat's Acres, I thought that was the perfect track for somebody to have 200 horsepower on, you know, a stock SR in their S13. There were dudes there with turbocharged LSs. There were dudes there with high horsepower rotaries. I mean, it was like, it's a horsepower fest. I never thought I'd see the day on a go-kart track when you need 400 horsepower just to keep up with people. Yeah,
I mean... The longer something like that, once that became like a solid staple for people to go, it's just a matter of time before you have a bunch of, higher end clientele that are into it, and they're going to be into it, indefinitely. So they're going to throw horsepower at their car. When it was a sport where we didn't know if Pat's Acres was going to be available for drifting for another year, for another event, for another 10 years, for people to drop that kind of coin into a drift car when their only fallback was the street. Mm-hmm. That's asking a lot of anybody, especially when it's most of these guys are, early 20s to early 30s. Like, that's not the most rich part of your life generally. So that's a lot of money to be able to throw at a car and a hobby.
Yeah, but do you remember how much money we threw away when we were in our early 20s?
All of my money. I don't have a penny from then, and I had a good job.
You also had a good time.
Yeah, oh no, yeah. I should have bought stock and Falcon tire, but
should have bought stock.
Wait, go back one photo there, Nick, please. I just saw one of my favorite. Yeah, take a second. I love Advanced Super wheels. Those 3-spoke wheels. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love those. And I just swore I saw them on that picture as the slideshow went by.
Those are just Super Advans, right?
They're Super Advans and Super Advan 2s. So they're both 3-spoke, 3 double spokes, I should say. But yeah, I've always loved those wheels. They don't make them anymore. Wish they did. I'd put them on something. And for all those like mid 90s cars, they're so period correct. Like nobody, maybe you don't like 3-spoke wheels, but nobody can complain that wheel doesn't really look right, because they look right on all those mid 90s Japanese cars. They just look great.
There are some wheels that are like that. It's like your Falcon Hanabis.
Oh yeah, those twisty Falcon wheels. Yep, keep popping through here.
Nick's just running through the photos, seeing what Koi saw.
Keep going.
I'm seriously impressed that somebody was out there with a 240 or a 240, 260, 280Z.
Keep going.
That's all the photos.
What? Loop through him again then, because I know I saw him.
I think Koi might have had too much whistle pig. Oh, right there.
Yeah, there it
right
was.
there, right in the front.
Yep. Love those wheels. I was kind of looking back and forth, and just right as it changed, that was my focal point. I was like, my favorite wheel ever. Just love those 3-spokes. There's not a lot of 3-spoke wheels that were ever made. They're kind of a unique design.
Do you realize we're at the point now where there are knockoffs of knockoff wheels, Koi?
Yeah. There's like knockoff XXRs.
Yeah. I actually
but XXRs are knockoffs.
Yeah.
Or were when they first came out.
Yeah, I saw an advertisement for a car earlier in the week, actually. It said real Rotas. There's so much there that I can't. We're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
There's too much. Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. When I saw that, though, I just thought, yeah, that's a Koyism.
Real Rotas.
Real Rotas.
Impressive. And we're actually at a point where it's like I'll pick up a car. I picked up a car magazine. I mean, it's probably been a couple years ago now. And there's a Supra on the front. I just picked it up. I'm like, oh, nice Supra. But he's running XXR wheels. I just put the magazine back. I'm like, I don't even. You're not even into cars. Like, I don't know whose daddy bought you this thing, but that's. You don't put XXRs on a Supra. Like,
and then get it featured on the front
yeah, it's like,
of a magazine.
I would just be like, look, that'd be if I was getting pictures. Like, sorry, my wheels are in getting powder coated with a top secret stealth powder coat, and I can't talk about it. And that's why the pictures I had to, and these are some old crap ones I had laying around.
Yeah.
So I would lead with why I have those wheels.
Okay, so let me ask you this: factory wheels or XXRs? This is more of a yes and no.
Well, it can't be a yes, because if you're slammed. If you're slammed and you've got all the body work done and you look great, and then you have just old school factory wheels, it'll look like your car has some serious underbite.
Sure, I'm just talking about like a Supra that looks basically stock. Stock wheels or stock look wheels or XXRs.
If we're just going a stock looking Supra, I'll just take stock wheels.
Widened Steelies or XXRs.
I like white steelies on almost anything. Like, I understand from a performance point that a lot of times it's not optimal. But I mean, I ran those diamond steelies on my Civic, those 13 by 9 inch rims. They're basically a box. And I love the way those look.
Okay, XXRs or Anki teddy bears?
No.
What if you got
that was a deep pull.
What if you got some deep dish teddy bears in an 18-inch?
Okay, I would run deep dish. Like, once you get into something like that, of course I'm picking teddy bears, because that would be awesome.
Producer Nick, could you pull up Anki teddy bears? It's ENKEI teddy bear wheels. I think they only came in 15-inch, by the way.
And I feel like these were made solely for the new Volkswagen Bugs. I don't know that I've seen them on any other vehicle.
I thought they were made for Miatas.
Oh, that I only see people put these on.
Those are way too badass looking. You have to go with something.
Somebody made that a murder bear. just a plain silver.
Yeah, just the plain. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, they're so bad. Yeah. I would run because at that point, like, people understand what you're doing with a teddy bear wheel. You know what I mean? That's hilarious. If I could get those in a deep dish, I'd run those on everything I owned. Like that'd be my signature thing. They'd see like, wait, did Coy get a new car? And they'd be like, I think he got this. I think he got a Skyline. Sold the Supra. And then you'd be like, yeah, he doesn't like Skyline. It's not his jam. And then you'd see one go by with teddy bear wheels. You'd be like, nope, Coy got a Skyline. Like I'd make that my signature if I could get deep dish teddies.
So you'd run deep dish teddies on like your FJ.
I would, of course. You would single-handedly soul yourself out. It would be my bat signal. You know what I mean? Like, just be like, you'd see deep dish teddies on anything I drove. I mean, a dump truck goes by on deep dish teddies, and I'd be like, that's Coy. He's got the deep dish teddies. He's a freaking weirdo, but I love that dude.
Well, what other rims would you run instead of XXRs?
That are kind of at face value worse than XXRs.
Yeah, sure.
I would sooner run. I gotta think about this a second. There was a awful chrome 3-spoke that was like late 80s popular.
I had those on an Acura Integra.
I would run those instead of.
Wow.
I would run those. American Racing made them, I think.
Hold on a second. Go down, producer Nick. I just saw a photo that I thought was interesting. Look at yeah. So look at the white.
Yeah,
some deep dish bears.
Deep dish teddies, dude. Why wouldn't you rock that? I feel like that has to be photoshopped.
Well, it's probably not photoshopped. It's probably somebody that cut the centers of the bears out or had them custom made.
That's an insane amount of work, but still. Okay, that guy is known for that. That's his jam. Like, why mess with that? That's beautiful.
It's a good point.
He's got 3 inches of chrome lip. It's a 2-piece wheel.
Go back. I'm pretty sure I saw some on a pickup truck.
There's some on a Lancer right there. Click on the black car. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it's massive.
That's definitely a Photoshop.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know who I was.
All right, yeah, go back, producer Nick.
And anytime you race somebody and beat them, all their friends would be like, yeah, you got beat by the guy with the teddy bear wheels.
Yep, right there. Boom.
They see me rolling. Yeah, this is a square body GMC on teddy bear wheels.
With a horrible Photoshop, but still, it gives you an idea.
I would love to run those on a bunch of stuff. That'd be great. I can't believe you pulled that out of your hat, though. That was a deep, deep pull.
It was a deep dive. Speaking of deep dives, man, I think we should move on to how you spent your weekend.
I spent my weekend near Nevada, in Idaho, over in the Alvord Desert area. For those of you who don't know, think like Black Rock Playa.
That photo right there, you've got to get that up.
So
that's a great photo.
That is the Steens Mountains in the background there.
That is super cool.
Me and my trailer. That's a homestead I found.
Everybody listening on the podcast, it's his FJ from the side, hooked up to his trailer with the mountains in the back. It's a gorgeous photo. You've got to come over to the Facebook page and check out these photos. We'll have them posted on 3BQ for you to come and check out. Yeah, wow. You got some awesome shots this weekend, man. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. I did a little bonehead move right at the beginning. I left Thursday night, the second I got off work, basically. I drove home, took a shower. My wife had graciously loaded everything, got everything ready, and I just got out of the shower. She was sitting in the truck with the kids, and I left. And it's a good 7-hour drive to get where I was going, and I was camping at this one kind of primitive hot spring, and I was just kind of following my GPS. And instead of grabbing my GPS and just, zooming in and making sure it was right, I was going down this gravel road, and then I knew you turned on a dirt road to get to it, and then my Garmin Overlander GPS said, left turn. I don't remember the name of the road. It was like 10-mile lane or something, and it was a dirt road. It wasn't too bad looking, so I whipped down this 10-mile lane. It was 20 miles from the where I was going on this dirt road.
Ooh.
Which I thought, well, it's probably a pretty decent road. If I'm doing 30 miles an hour, I'll be there in 45 minutes. So I get going down it, and I get 3-4 miles down it, and it had gotten a lot worse. I was doing about 5 miles an hour. And that was about 12:30 when I turned on the dirt road. So I got up 5:30 in the morning, worked all day, jumped in the truck, drove there. Should have been there at 12:45. and now it's about 1. And I'm like literally I'm on BLM land going through like cattle ranges, having to open and close gates behind me, like, and then I had to drive through a small river thing, and then I was following my GPS, but it was just a kind of a rock field with where there had been a road back before internal combustion engines had been invented.
Yeah,
like I'm pretty sure I could see wagon tracks, and finally I crest the final hill. It's 2:45, I believe, at this point. I see taillights way in the distance by this knoll, and I go, "That's it. We're like a mile out." And I drive the last half mile. I pull up to the last gate, and I can see it downhill and down. I can see a couple campfires. I'm a half mile away, and the last gate had a padlock on it with a large chain around it.
Ooh.
So I screamed in the air, and I'm at this point like. I've powered through a lot of stuff where I should have just turned around, but I'm like, I'm just so tired. I don't want to think about this. We're going. We're doing it live, you know, and I just power through, and I get there, and I just think it's 2 hours of, 5 miles an hour. I'm doing 2 hours back out of here through all this. And then we get on that gravel road, and I bet it goes straight to that place probably, which it did.
Ooh.
So I spent another 2 hours driving back out, and I got to my camping spot at 5:30. And then had to set up camp. So that was a bad start. And I learned a valuable lesson to be a little more patient when it seems like I shouldn't be turning here maybe, but just whatever. I'll just take the long dirt road. So yeah, I learned a valuable lesson there. But
it only cost you 4.5 hours.
Yeah. Of the most valuable time because you're fighting to stay awake,
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, camped at Hot Springs. There was actually Memorial Day weekend, so it was just busy everywhere over there. There was 15 people camping there, but cool little hot springs. Had a guy camp right next to me. Talked to him, and he said, "Hey, there's some old homesteads out here. There's two brothers that homestead out here." So me and the wife hiked down a ways, but actually it had rained over there, and so all the creeks were kind of high. They don't really ever get much rain. So yeah, we kind of hiked a ways and kind of looked, but you can't really cross the creek because it was high. So we came back and dinked around. Like, well, we'll drive down and see if we can get a look at them. So I drove down, and then I found a spot where the road forded the creek and drove across that, and then drove, and we're like, oh, there it is. And we jumped out and checked one out. And I'm like, well, okay, well, that was it. And then we turned around and went back through the creek, and we're driving back out of the desert. And my wife goes, what? There's more. And so then I turned around and went to those. I found a completely separate homestead that dude that had been going there for 30 years never knew about.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was pretty cool. And then I found the two that he had been talking about. So got to check those out. That was pretty amazing.
Is it just now BLM land?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, BLM / White Horse Ranch over there is some old ancient, like, land before time ranch that's still in operation.
I gotcha.
And they kind of own everything over there. But yeah, most of it's BLM.
Man, I'd love to be one of those people, like a dynasty that owns hundreds of thousands of acres,
I don't know that they're still a dynasty now. I don't know. I know they were a big deal back in the day. Whether they could be now, I don't know. I don't know much about them. They have an airstrip at their ranch, so they can't be too bad.
I would think not. And speaking of airstrips, this photo you got of airplanes just like landing and pulling up to the gas station you're parked at?
Well, this wasn't at the gas station. This was on the actual playa, but it was still incredible. Yeah, I pulled up. First thing I did was when I got out on the playa in the Alvord there, is I looked for planes because it's pretty common for planes to show up there. And I saw the plane, so I drove over there and approached somebody camping there and said, hey, can I pull my truck over by there? I want to take a couple pictures. Because it turns out when you get close to guys with planes, they don't like stuff around their planes.
Sure.
So I try to be real respectful of that. Talk to them, and, then they made it really clear not to get too close to the wings. In case, you didn't know not to ram your tube bumper into the wing of an airplane. But anyways, I parked.
It seems intuitive, but I don't know.
It would for most, but I guess if I had a plane and there was a peasant wanting to take a picture with my plane, I would probably inform them of how close they could get to the plane and not to touch it.
Honestly, we've had a lot of kids over to the house recently, playing with the baby goats.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, if those baby goats were an airplane, kids wouldn't be getting anywhere near it.
Yeah.
Anywhere near it. My favorite part of having the young kids over was when they were done, like petting a chicken or a goat, just dropping it, just being like, "Oh well,
Yeah,
adios, sucker, we're done."
I am done with you.
Yeah. Do you remember that scene in Toy Story where he was like, "I don't want to play with you anymore," and he just drops Woody? That's how all of my animals are for young children.
I imagine is that scene from Thor where he drinks the coffee. This beverage is delicious. I shall have another, and just throws the mug on the ground.
This baby goat is adorable. I shall have another.
Yeah, spikes it.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Slammer.
But either way, yes. I mean, if they've had anybody that did anything to their airplane in the past at all, I could imagine why they'd be like, "Hey, you can take photos, but just please don't touch my plane."
Which, as you can see, there's real airplanes that were there, and I mean, like we've talked on other shows, Jesse Combs ran a jet car here. I mean, you can go. There's no speed limits and really no rules, so you can easily land a plane there. You can run jet cars there. Like it's surreal. That is a real plane. I mean, real plane. The other planes are real too. Then there's, I don't know what those are. They're like a step above an ultralight. You can see that yellow. There's a yellow aircraft kind of behind my truck, kind of hidden a little bit.
I noticed it had the motor on the back and the prop on the back.
It's like, I don't know what those are called. It's like one step above an ultralight. It has like half a fuselage, but then instead of a full enclosed cab, it just has like a wind fairing. It's like a little mini convertible thing, which actually looks more fun to fly than the real planes. Because this other plane, he took off and like he was just gone. Like he just flew away. I'm out of here. These guys in these little planes, they take off and they're flying around above the desert, 150 feet up, and then they just land. They just like fly over a campsite, take a couple pictures, land, show the guys, jump in, take off. Like it was surreal the way they landed and took off, like it was no big deal.
Right.
Which apparently it wasn't. And these guys trailered those over. They had kind of special trailers, those wings folded or unbolted or something. And they slid in this trailer.
Makes you wonder how far they came, because if you can't fly it there, like how long can that thing stay in the air?
I don't know. And then there were 3 or 4 guys with the parasail things. I don't know what you call those little trike parasail fans, parachute fan things. And
it was the actual trike. It wasn't just like a parachute strapped to them.
Well, yeah, no, it wasn't the backpack fan thing. It was a little trike one. And they were running those things around like crazy, mostly in the morning.
That might even be a fun one, like a more fun one, because you want to talk about being able to pack something up. Well, the trike ones, yeah, you'd have to have a trailer, but imagine having one of the backpack ones.
Those would be cool, but they look like wildly tiring. Think about it. You got to stand up with a motor on your back, with a fan, with a parachute, and this thing has to be gassed up, and then you got to run. You got to get some speed, like. Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Check this out. What if we just sat you in a recliner in the back of my truck?
Oh, yeah.
And then just started rolling.
Did like a moving,
Yeah. The parachute fills the parasail, and it goes up. Your motor starts. You know, I'm there. I can help your geriatric ass stand up.
I'm thinking of like when we want to take the space shuttle from Houston back to Florida to launch again, how we like put it on top of the 747.
Yeah.
Like that move.
Oh yeah, we can do that. Yeah,
but with your truck. Like I'm just sitting on, and you take off, and then I pop the chute and hit the fan, and I'm out.
I don't see anything wrong with that. Like, how could that go wrong?
Sounds safe to me. I'm winging it.
Here's the thing about the parasail, though. If the motor cuts out, you're wearing a parachute.
Yeah, no, it's the best situation you could be in if you're going to fall out of the sky.
I kind of feel like it is. I mean, I don't know what the risk factor is with parasails. I'm sure if you landed it on some power lines, that wouldn't be a good thing.
Well, here's the good and bad thing about that part of the state / type of terrain. The desert is not known for having a ton of power lines like the city is. On the other hand, they don't have a ton of water or soft landing spots. There's a lot of rock and sagebrush.
Yeah, not many hospitals.
And yeah. In fact, I talked to a guy that laid his bike down over there a couple years ago, and like broke his leg, like broke his leg, like floppy broke his leg.
Ooh.
He said he only had to ride in the back of a car for 2 hours before he got to the ambulance, and then it took 7 hours to get to Bend. So,
yikes.
Yeah, he said it was not enjoyable.
That reminds me of there's an old movie. I have no idea what the name of it is, but there's a dude that got taken out into the desert, and then his leg was broken, and then he had to fight his way out of the desert.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about, though?
yeah, it was like his wife hired some goons to old school, old cow like spaghetti western-ish,
But
80s-ish spaghetti western.
no, it wasn't 80s. It was like 60s.
Is it that old?
Great movie, though, because it would switch the scenes back and forth between him, like, trying to get water from a rock, and then it would switch over, and it would be his ex-wife and his best friend, like, pouring soda into a glass to just drink.
And, like, overflowing it. Yeah.
Yeah, just stuff like that. What a great movie. But this whole time you're talking about it, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. It's crazy out there if you've never been out there.
Oh, how long did it take from basically Staten?
It's a 7-hour drive.
7-hour drive.
I mean, you go from Salem to kind of in that area, it's 6.5, 7 hours. I mean, plus fuel stops and whatnot.
Sure.
I stopped for fuel, but I drove nonstop basically.
Yeah. Wow. And you took the camper trailer out there.
I hauled that I have a little pop-up tent trailer I took with me.
Well, so a week before last, we talked to Tony Barthol all about campers.
Yeah.
You talked a little bit about yours. How'd that thing work out?
Oh, it worked great. I had zero problems. I love my little tent camper.
Does it have the beds on both ends or just one end?
Mine, the roof powers up, and then the two wings slide out the front and back. Mm-hmm. And it has a almost queen in the front and a full in the back.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and it's got a little furnace, propane fridge, and it just weighs 2,300 pounds all loaded up. Like, it's pretty lightweight, so.
You could tow that with a Prius.
You could try.
Now, does it have one of those little composting toilets in it?
No, I specifically did not want that when I bought mine because I did not want to deal with the poo.
Got it. You're going on a trawl.
Well, I mean, just when I camp, I'm either in the woods and I'll go dig a hole. Mm-hmm. I'm like, or a lot of times, even if your camp fairly remote, you're within a couple miles of some kind of BLM little spot that has a pit toilet. So, you can do what you want. But
I'm with you.
I didn't want to deal with that, and that adds a lot of weight.
Does it?
Yeah, to add a toilet, because you got to have the actual toilet unit, whatever that weighs. You got to have the space for it, and then you got to have the tank that holds it.
Oh, I thought you would just do like one of the composting ones where you throw a little dirt over the top after you use it,
and have it in the trailer.
I have seen trailers like that. Maybe I'm thinking of something different.
I'm not. I know there are kind of portable ones that are kind of like that. They have like a chemical in them, and you just kind of. But I mean, they're not composting. You do have to empty them eventually, but.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, composting ones you have to empty too. But
yeah. Those seem like more work than it is just to dig a hole and poop in it. I mean, if we're being honest.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. It's just my prerogative is if you got to have something, like a Home Depot bucket with sand in it and a pool noodle around the top is better than trying to figure out, like, where's the closest McDonald's. Now, granted, you're out in the woods. It's totally different. This isn't urban camping. But, fortune favors the prepared.
Yeah, well, where I camp, Willow Hot Springs, I knew there was a pit toilet there. Mm-hmm. So I had that. But no, and I mean, I keep toilet paper on the truck and some wet wipes and all the stuff. So
sure, yeah. We're doing a real deep dive into how to poop on the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, you make the boom boom. You don't drink a ton of coffee.
That's right. Hey, since we've been talking about so much off-road stuff, do you want to do that off-road rig that's smoking dealer, smoking a doob?
Yeah, I love doing the smoking dealer, smoking a doob.
Well, I sent you a couple to pick from, but I think we're going to do the truck today, right?
I didn't realize there were choices. I thought we were doing them all.
Oh, we can. So, hey, we can do a double header. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. I didn't realize I had a choice. I was doing them both.
We're going to start with this truck because it's actually sold. All right, Nick, you want to cue up the video for us?
I'll point when you're live.
Smoking deal.
I don't know what he just said, but I'm going to be quiet until the video runs because we can't hear it.
He's going to point when it's live, I think.
Smoking deal.
1967 Ford F100 pre-runner.
This thing.
There.
Okay.
All right, so we've got a 1967 Ford F100 pre-runner. Tell me I didn't talk through the whole thing, producer Nick.
Yeah,
crap.
we talked through the whole thing. I misunderstood the point.
Yeah, I did too. We'll figure that out, Goat. I'm sorry about that, you guys. We'll sort it out. You know what, Coy? This is the problem with doing it live.
That's the problem with doing it live. That's the beauty of doing it live. You don't get these little nuggets of horribleness when it's...
Producer Nick is just looking at us like, what are you doing, you dummies? Anyways, this pre-runner truck, wow, this thing has got a lot of work put into it, Coy.
You know, a lot of it looks like it's done right. Like, I mean, I don't build pre-runners, but it's $5,000. Like, that's a crappy Honda Civic price-wise.
It has a 3-link in the front with a Dana 44 and a Ford 9-inch rear in the back with locker.
This is a 4-wheel drive pre-runner.
It is, which technically is not a pre-runner.
Yeah, that makes
but
it like a trophy truck, I think. But
I'm okay with it being 4-wheel drive. I think most of these should be. It says it's got a big block Ford. I don't know what that means because a big block is going to be any FE block. What do we got for big block Fords? We have.
I'm sure it's a 400 or something.
Yeah, it could. Well, it could be a 460.
It could be.
Technically, it could even be a 390.
Yeah, maybe it's a Cobra Jet. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a Cobra Jet, this is a screaming deal.
Yeah. By the way, it says it has a 3-speed manual in it.
A 3-speed manual. Plot thickens. I'm not sure. I'm not a Baja driver type guy. I feel like 3-speed manuals not the most perfect one for that, but why not? Like, I mean, especially since we don't live in the desert, how fast? I mean, it's not like you're going to be hitting the whoops at 100 miles an hour. 9-inch rear. You know, there's a lot to like about this truck, and
there is.
And you figure for $5,000 the amount of work it takes to get a truck to this point, it's a deal. It's got six tires because he's got 2 spares. They look like good tires,
and they look just about brand new.
Yeah. I mean, this is kind of a slick truck. It might be kind of something that's a COVID deal where a dude just needs the money and he's out of work. On the other hand, if you zoom in on some of the welds, it looked like he had a SEMA deadline he was trying to make on some of the. Like, and I say this, and here we go. I'm not a welder, but I can't.
That's going to be a hard one to zoom in on, Nick.
I can see when a weld looks horrible. So, you know, I would say this is actually a deal, but I would get your fabricator to grind some of these down, throw a fat bead back over them or something.
So I think we're going with a kind of deal.
I'll just go deal. I'm just saying do your homework before you launch it. Before you send it, you know, go ahead and drill through some of these welds, see how thick they are.
Yeah, exactly.
But I say deal. This is smoking deal.
I like it. I'm going to say smoking deal as well because anything that tempts me, anything where I stop and I go, could I come up with 5 G's in cash and go and get that thing? That means it's a deal.
You know, and was this truck one of the old ones that had the gas cap right there by the driver's door and the fuel tank was behind the driver's seat?
It looks like it.
I saw this guy has a fuel cell, but it would almost be better if he still had the tank behind the seat.
Yeah.
Just the ballsiness of a pre-runner with the tank in the cab.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it's sitting midship, so you're actually balancing the weight.
Yeah, but I mean, just you go full Jesse Combs with this thing real quick. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I do like how the gas shocks poke up over the bed of the truck. I should use the term bed loosely, air quotes, bed of the truck.
And, I mean, I didn't look closely at shocks, but they're blue, which leads me to believe they're probably King shocks.
I think that's what it says. Yeah. King Racing shocks in the rear.
So the shocks are probably pushing $1,000 each. I mean, right there. And those are, I mean, they may be more. They're wildly expensive.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm going to say deal on this one. So actually, it's a good thing that we have 2 lined up for the day because this was a pretty quick and easy one because it already sold.
Yeah, it had to have been a deal since it sold already, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, Nick, should we try the intro one more time for this guy? Hold your hand up when the intro starts, then put it down when it's done. Oh, yeah.
Smoking deal or smoking adobe.
I love that intro.
Yeah.
I voiced it myself. I know everybody can tell, but I kept trying to do like smoke and deal or smoking a doob, like trying to figure it out, you know? And it wasn't until I went, smoke and deal! R! Smoking and doobie!
So
That's when it finally sounded good.
to get that sound, you just back off the mic 2 feet and scream at the ceiling.
Yes.
Well, that's creative.
Hey, I am pleased.
I don't know that I would have got to that point.
And sometimes I'm pleased to aim.
So I have to ask though, were you actually, when you were making that intro, was that something you were trying, or were you just getting angry and you shoved the mic away and just screamed it at the ceiling?
A bit of both.
It was out of frustration at that point that you stumbled across that technique.
Half frustration, half desperation.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because I wanted to get it done, and I was like,
20% luck, 10% skill, 5% concentrated power of will.
100% big pee action.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't actually read very much about this Ford Festiva. I saw the picture and I felt like that told me enough.
This thing is legit, dude. This thing is legit. So,
first of all,
yeah,
it's 1,000 bones, 1,000 smackers.
Kind of.
But I mean, that's what he's saying.
Kind of. As we're going through the photos here, what you're going to notice is it is lined with Dynamat, and it is gutted from the front seats back. I don't think it has any carpet in it at all. Check out that custom door panel, though.
Was somebody trying to make a beat station out of this?
You better believe it, baby. Check this out. Set up for SPL sound system, complete Dynamat top to bottom, doors, quarters, etc. Custom door panels to fit 3x6. 6.5 inch, each door. Basic pre-wire 0 gauge, 3 RCA connections. We'll throw in a basic system with a deck, 6 mid for the doors, amp, and a pair of 12s in a high output sub box for $1,500. Also has HIDs, 15x7 SSR wheels, which by the way will rub no matter what tire you have on. It looks like a Hot Wheels car. I mean, there's no way you can turn it. It probably, you can't really tell from this photo, but I bet if we zoomed in and if there's enough resolution, you can actually see a line on the tire where the fender's cutting into it. I guarantee it.
Here's what I want to know: what's up with the paint job?
Oh yeah,
So for those listening,
nope, in the front, producer Nick. Look at that. Look at that. You can see that line cut right there.
This thing looks like it was white, and then they spray painted it black on a rainy day.
Kind of, yeah.
Something along. Almost looks like they were trying to go for a camo look, but I think they just had a dirty car when they tried to paint it black.
It says that it has SSR wheels, 15x7 SSR wheels.
I don't recognize those, but they do look like 2-piece wheels. They probably are SSRs. I mean, they're a old SSR. It's not like he's got Professor P1s on there, but
kind of ugly, but runs good. Maybe a Gambler 500 car. Probably not. Great sound comp car, ready for a wall.
Probably not.
We did 150 dB with many different setups. Will not sell the rims. 1,000 cash or trade, or 1,500 if you want the sound system included. It is an 89, so it is carbureted, by the way.
Well, if you're into sound systems, half these guys that do the sound system car, I've noticed they didn't run. They rolled them off the trailer and didn't even have a motor half the time. So I'm not a sound system guy. I listen to a little music, but I'm not bumping.
There's your original paint, by the way, that blue in the engine bay.
So it's baby blue.
Yeah.
And they tried to black it up.
Yeah, same color as producer's Nick's. Look at that.
Yeah.
So, I think this lands pretty squarely in smoking a doob, quite frankly.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, if you were into this kind of thing, I will say that Dynamat, he has like $400 worth of Dynamat in it. That stuff's not cheap.
Yes, but the value of the car can't be placed in the value of the parts. And the value of the person driving it can't be put into the value of their taste. Because clearly this person has none.
Well, yeah. Yeah, their taste is about as high as their class.
So, you know the saying, I don't know art, but I know what I like? This ain't it, Chief. And I'm a fan of Festivas, but this thing, it frankly, it needs to be put out of its misery. Hard smoking a doob. That paint job, they were obviously high when they tried to paint it. And it probably wasn't cannabis either.
It looked like they had like a bucket of paint and a sponge, and they dipped the sponge on and just smashed it against the car repeatedly. Like I've seen people paint like their bedroom like this.
This is the type of car that would be owned by a casual meth user.
A recreational meth user?
Yeah. The sound systems that they put in this car have actually been stolen from other cars.
Are there any sound systems that haven't been stolen at one point or another?
Well, that's a fair point, actually. Yeah, I'm going to say hard doob. What do you think?
I'm trying to reach for not hard doob, but like this is one of those doobs that you need 3 people to help you light.
Yeah. This is a Willie Nelson-sized doob.
Yeah. This is one of those James Franco cross trifecta vortex doobs.
Yeah. Producer Nick, since you're the resident Festiva owner, where do you land?
It's got a doob.
He says doob. That is the defining factor. So listen, maybe this thing is worth way more than we think it is. It absolutely 1,000% is not.
It's not. Yeah.
I know as much about Festivas as anybody else. I had a Turbo Festiva for a long time. So if you want to argue with me, you can sit and spin, because this is a hardcore doob. But do please let us know if you disagree. Maybe your price on this thing is $500. Let us know what you would pay for this car. We always love to hear it and love to see it. And Coy, I think we can put this one case closed. Hard doob. All right, man. Well, we are right at the time limit. This honestly has been a fantastic episode. I think it's been a lot of fun. You and I had a great time last weekend. The listeners got a little taste of an impromptu episode that we did. And frankly, that was a great episode to listen to. It was short. It's 45 minutes, but it was awesome.
Yeah. Nope.
And they got a double taste of the Smokin' Deal or Smokin' a Doob today. We will have an all-new Smokin' Deal or Smokin' a Doob next week. Make sure that you're paying attention to that. And if you have a car that you think qualifies for Smokin' Deal or Smokin' a Doob, send it our way and we will review it. Even if it's your car, let us know if it's your car. We'll go even harder against it. So one more time, we want to thank you for tuning in. Thank you for telling a friend. Coy, appreciate you being here.
Wouldn't be anywhere else.
Producer Nick, thank you for being here, my friend. You guys watching and listening, thank you for being here. And for Producer Nick and Coy, this is Andy. We will see you next time.